So I'm Kerena Saltzman, and this is my friend and colleague, Jeanine Becker. And I come to these conferences with my 4-year-old daughter. And when she comes in and sees a room full of people like this, she grabs onto my leg and she looks up at me and she says, "Mom, I'm having a shy right now." And sometimes when I come into this large of a group, I feel a little overwhelmed and shy. And I'm wondering if any of you have a moment of having a shy right now in being in a group of 2,000 people. Yeah, it's a lot. So Jeanine and I met at a Wisdom 2.0 conference years ago, and we found that we were both passionate and verging on the edge of obsession about the same thing, which is bringing mindfulness and qualities of emotional awareness into relationship with our families, into relationship with our organizations and at work. And since then, we've brought this work to conferences. And we've brought this work to teams to help people get authentically engaged and to help them bring their whole selves to conference experiences. And what we find is we just flourish when we're connected. There's less drama, and we can get things done better, and we're more on purpose.
So like Kerena said, I share that passion for bringing mindfulness and awareness into our relationships. And I train and coach teams around leadership and collaboration, and I've been teaching negotiation for 7 years. And what I find is that we often know what to do. We know as leaders that we need to balance both assertive action and welcoming and being aware of the input from and impact on our team. We know that we need to invite opinions different from our own and be curious about them in order to achieve our results. We know what to do, but doing it in the moment when it matters, that's a practice. And it's a practice that both brings us more ease and real business results.
And here are some of the results here that can happen from being engaged and connected with each other.
So that kind of relating impacts our engagement. It actually also really has an impact on our performance. And I think when we're talking about the ways of relating, it's similar to what they were saying in our improv, right? It's that sense of being present, of being aware, of being compassionate and welcoming what is, and it's a sense of curiosity.
So we get to do a partner exercise with you all, and it's called Curiosity. And we're going to be asking you to bounce your attention from us up here back to your partner a few times. So if you hear our voices or a little ding, just bring your attention back up. The easier we can do this, the better it will go. I don't think we've done it with 2,000 people, but you guys will be our sort of first. We're going to model it for you first, and then we'll partner you up. So the most important part of this exercise first is to determine who has the big ears and who has the small ears in the partnership. So you don't know yet. You won't know until you meet with your partner. So small-eared people, you're going to be asking this question of the big-eared people.
What I'm most curious about you right now is, how's it feeling to be up here?
I feel my heart is racing, like I can feel my heart boom, 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 and all this energy in my body. And I've also been sick, so it's kind of nice to actually have the energy because my system's been low, and I'm like, oh, it feels good. And I'm sort of surprised. Yeah. So, if you have a mindfulness practice, or you have some way of getting into your body and breathing and being in the moment, this is a great practice where you can utilize that.
And I think for the small-eared person asking the questions, there's only one rule, and that rule is that you actually have to see what are you really curious about in the moment and speak from that. The other thing is to be actually noticing this like a practice. So if your mind wanders, if you're distracted, if you're judging, if you're just planning what your next question is, to notice that and come back to simply being present with your partner.
Okay, so partner with somebody close to you and determine who has the big ears and who has the small ears. And small-eared person, you're going to be asking this question to the big-eared person. Bringing your attention back up for a minute. Bringing your attention back up. Small-eared person, is this really the question you want to ask? Or is there a question that you're actually more curious about? And that question could be, what is it like to be with me right now? So go ahead and continue. Bringing your attention back up.
Wonderful. So the bigger people have just shared of themselves generously with us. And now it's our time as a smaller person to give an offering back and really to give some feedback. And so our questions for feedback are, hearing that, what I get about you is, or when I felt you most was, and we'll just model. When I felt you most was when you actually talked about having the energy in your body again. And what I get about you is that this work is really energizing and on purpose for you. So we're going to give you 1.5 minutes to give feedback, the smaller person to give feedback using these sentence stems to your partner.
Okay, bringing your attention back up front. So now we're going to switch roles. So the large-eared person will be asking this question of the small-eared person. What I'm most curious about you right now is, and you can begin. Bringing your attention back up front. You guys are good. This is good.
And now it's an opportunity to switch and give feedback. So the feedback questions were, hearing that what I get about you is, or when I felt you most was. Begin.
bringing your attention back up front, please.
And as we wrap, maybe take a moment and thank your partner.
Thank your partner and bring your attention back up. It's always a good sign that it takes people a little time to come back. It means it's working. So coming back up front. So curiosity really opens us up and builds community with each other. And I want to share a quote that I absolutely love by Thich Nhat Hanh. It is possible that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. And the practice can be carried out as a group, as a city, and as a nation.
Soren often talks about this conference and this gathering as a community, and I think it's a transformational one in 3 ways. I think the first is it's really impacting people's businesses. I mean, just seeing Vivian yesterday and going from a small lemonade stand in the lobby to on the stage to raising $1 million to end childhood slavery, I'm inspired. I think it's also transformational personally. So I know for myself and conversations with others that just having a space where we can bring both our business side and our practices, our mindfulness, our growth into the same space has a real impact on my ability to show up authentically and showed me a new way. But there's a third way that I think this conference has the power to make a transformation. I think that chopping wood isn't inherently meditative or mindful. Neither is leading a team or closing a deal or moving your business forward. Or connecting with 2,000 strangers now in your new community. But what if it could be? What if we could use this weekend and our relationships generally as part of our practice? And really, our hope is that the same qualities that you're building in your practice, the quality of presence, of awareness, of compassion and curiosity, are enriching both your relationships and your business. Thank you.
Thank you.